and the little girl cried and sheltered behind her bruised mother, while her older brother cowered in the shadows and did nothing. Wolfgang opened his eyes. They stung with cold tears as the wind intensified. He couldn't see Collins's head now, but he imagined he could. He imagined he could hear her breaths, each one filled with pain, as the ravages of her disease clutched her body. He stood up, leaning into the wind and hurrying across the street, then stopped in front of the smudged glass entrance and stared at the handle. Wolfgang turned to the right and approached the donation slot next to the door. He dug a thick envelope from beneath the windbreaker, packed with anonymous cash, and crammed it through the slot. Casting another furtive glance at the window 3 floors up, he whispered to Collins, as he always did, "I love you, and one day, I'll make it right." Wolfgang's phone buzzed. He turned from the building and retrieved it, grateful for the distraction. There was a text message from a contact labeled simply as E. "Headquarters, 12 hours. A flood of excitement filled him, enough to burn away the cold, but never quite enough to burn away the guilt. He shoved the phone back into his pocket and held out his hand for the nearest taxi. Buffalo might have been in the throes of premature fall, but in St. Louis, summer was still alive and well. Wolfgang found Charlie Team waiting for him on the 14th floor of the Bank of America Plaza, and he scrubbed his shoes on the mat outside the door before ducking inside. "Wolfgang, better late than never," Edric called from the far side of the room. Wolfgang blushed, glancing around the room to see Lyle sitting behind a computer at the table, and Kevin standing next to the minibar, mixing a cocktail. Megan sat by herself next to the window, right where she had the first time he'd met her 4 months prior. She leaned against the wall with her legs crossed and stared out at the gleaming gateway arch only a half-mile away. She wore yoga pants and a loose-fitting shirt that fell an inch short of her waistline. She was beautiful, in a simple, elegant way. He loved that. "Like a drink, Wolf?" Kevin's commanding voice boomed from the minibar, and the big man offered Wolfgang a reserved nod. "A Sprite would be great," Wolfgang said. Kevin reached for the soda as Wolfgang settled into a chair. This was Charlie Team, an elite detachment of Spire, a company specializing in professional espionage services. They worked for whoever could pay their hefty fees, conducting specialized undercover missions around the globe. Their diverse capabilities were prominently advertised in their name: sabotage, procurement, infiltration, retaliation, and entrapment. Spire did it all. Wolfgang joined Charlie Team earlier that summer after working for Spire as an independent operator for 3 years, conducting corporate espionage and entrapment rackets in mostly American cities. Now his missions would carry him around the globe. In June, the team had barely survived a delicate operation in Paris, which almost cost a great deal more than their own lives. Wolfgang thrived on that mission, winning the respect of the rest of the team, but failing to win everything he really wanted. As Megan sat next to the window, he heard her words play back from moments before they left Paris. "I like you, Wolfgang. But you should know, I'll never become involved with somebody on my team again." Wolfgang looked away, shoving his feelings deep inside a mental box and locking them there. Megan was right, after all. They were a team. They had a job to do. Getting involved with each other didn't play a part in that. "Here you go." Kevin offered Wolfgang the Sprite, with another reserved nod. Kevin was Megan's half-brother, and prior to the Paris mission, he was about as friendly with Wolfgang as a dog with a burglar. Wolfgang could still feel the awkward tension between them, fueled predominantly by Kevin's suspicion.